Hello everyone, welcome to Cover 2 TV. I'm Steve Hall, joined by Geno and Chris as usual, and we're here to discuss the playoffs and everything that you've been Geno, that's fine.
I actually stopped doing that until before, and that's why you started doing it again.
You brought it back, the Geno finger wave. It's pleased many a Brazilian lady over the last days.
What are you? What type of kick-off are you? 2 fingers, 4 fingers, or chunky? So 2, 4, chunky. What do you prefer?
Let's move on. Okay. This is X-rated already. The show's been going for 30 seconds. That's what happens when you record 2 shows simultaneously. We get a bit excitable in the studio. It's these lights.
No, you don't have to say it, just show me. 4.
4. Fill your boots. Anyway, moving on.
All these uses his thumb and all kinds of stuff. Like, he used to tell me that his thumb was as thick as 2 fingers, so he's sound with that.
Speaking of getting thumbed this weekend, the Vikings, Chris.
Oh, thanks, mate. Classic. Great segue.
Yeah, Mitch Trubisky threw a thumb up. And with it went the playoff hopes. Was you shocked?
Let's not focus on the past. Let's focus on the future.
No, really. Before we get to it, was you shocked, or was it? Could you see it coming a mile off?
I mean, they were much better than us this season. The last time we played them, for us, Kirk Cousins is getting a load of blame, and listen, rightfully so. But our O-line is fucking terrible, and he's not having the time to throw the ball down the field. You know, early on in the season, we were able to get the ball into Thielen's hands a lot. That wasn't happening in the second half of the season, and you know, Cook's been a little bit of a disappointment. He had a breakout game a week or so ago, but the running game's not been great. We haven't really utilised Latavius Murray as well as we perhaps could have, and we've not been able to throw the ball down the field because of Pat Elfine and Remmers and all those lads on the O-line who've been fucking atrocious.
Yeah, I was quite surprised, but then again, we probably should believe in Nick Foles by now. He's clearly got some godlike abilities to just turn up at this time of the season. I love it. He's like the guy who turns up last in 5-a-side when everyone's knackered. He comes on, subs himself on and scores 4 with 10 minutes to go. Very much what Nick Foles has done. He's just walked on. Having said that, how he got up after Jadeveon Clowney nearly put him into next week was fair play to Nick. He's obviously got some bollocks to him, for lack of a better word. Geno, then
before we get into that, I feel like this is a great time to talk about the Cover 2 fantasy team.
Okay.
And fantasy season. So
your final.
I got to the final against Lewis Bell, Zeke and Destroy against Team Pajak. Now I thought I was being clever because Carson Wentz went down, so I decided to bring Nick Foles into my side. Tom Brady was my other quarterback. I'm like, sound. Brady hasn't done fuck all for weeks. Final game, week 17. I'll put Nick Foles in. Yep. Sound over Tom Brady. Tom Brady sat on my bench, scored 26 points, gets 4 touchdowns. Nick Foles goes out the game with 2 touchdowns and an interception.
And you lose the final.
And I lose the final by 5 points. But that being said, his team was better than mine.
Congratulations
over the last 2 weeks. So well done, Lewis. That wasn't the reason. He didn't even have Zeke Elliott. He had Zeke Elliott in his side for the last game, so was a player down and still beat me. And he was behind after the first week of the 2-week final. Also, though, Geno, week 17 championships. No. Don't do that ever again.
Yeah, we're going to change this. I think did you set the league up?
Yeah, but don't forget, I had like an hour to set the league up and try and get all the teams at once. This was a very last minute thing.
I was in 2 fantasy championships in week 17 and both of them were fucking horrendous.
Yeah, we'll change that for next time.
I did win a title in week 16 by taking Denver Broncos out of my defence and just not playing one.
What did the Broncos score? -7?
Yeah, I don't know, but it was like I was 2 points ahead and he had no one to play and I had the Broncos defence, so I just went, I'm just dropping them and not playing anyone.
Nice. I like it. Worst case scenario, yeah, I love it.
That's class, like.
That's great tactics.
Victory formation there from
Geno's taking a knee. That's the fantasy equivalent of taking a knee, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely fine.
He's running into the end zone and he just stops.
It was Todd Gurley just stopping the other week before the touchdown.
Yeah, just having a little sit down. So
classic, that mate.
Brilliant. Let's talk playoff picture and let's go AFC first then. Obviously top seed in the AFC isn't the Patriots for once, it's actually the Chiefs. Patriots obviously second seed. We've got Texans third seed, Ravens sneak in, or I say sneak in, deservedly get in, 4 seed.
In the division?
Chargers 5, Colts 6. I suppose let's start with the Ravens first then, Chris, because they had that game they had to win against the Browns, and to be fair, Lamar Jackson pulls it out the bag. Helps win me some money as well.
That read where he runs up the gut.
Can you stop it?
No. I don't think so. That's maybe the best read I've ever seen from those types of plays because
he won me a lot of money.
Mate, that was fantastic. Like, I mean, not only does he have the ability to see it, but he's hit the hole so fast and there's just no one anywhere near him. Like,
yeah, the Steelers obviously go and do what they have to do. They had to win in Cincinnati, and against Cincinnati, and they just about did, but ultimately it didn't matter. The Mayfield Jackson era is already upon us. Hopefully it's as fun as that one, 'cause it was a really good game.
That thing with Lamar Jackson, though, I mean, you know, the running game's good anyway, but
he's unstoppable. You can't touch him.
You've just got the extra man. Defenses need to completely change. The way that defensive coordinators think about this needs to change, because yes, they've seen success in stopping that over the last few years, but they've not played elite athletes like Lamar Jackson, who are unbelievable at it. Like, I don't know how you change it, but you need to change.
Colin Kaepernick taught. I remember Colin Kaepernick running all of Green Bay, and we just, whatever answers they came up with, he just couldn't. He was such a good athlete, he just couldn't pass, and teams eventually found it out. But it took a long time for teams to figure it out, you know, and there's no time for teams to figure it out. So let's talk about that game first. Then they're obviously playing the Chargers at home. And again, we've all agreed the Chargers are a really good team. They finished 12-4 for the reason they're a good team. But I imagine they're probably they're not underdogs in terms of bookmakers, but a lot of people are probably saying the Chargers could be underdogs in this game.
Yeah, well, I picked the Chargers to go to the Super Bowl, and in the playoffs, I would pick them to beat every team. The only one that worries me is stylistically is the Ravens, because the Ravens can keep it short, they can keep running the game, and they can keep Phil Rivers off the field. Because as good as the Chargers' offense have been, it's not a consistent offense. It just, if you keep giving Phil Rivers, they will eventually score, and they will eventually keep scoring. But they're not in every time they get the ball, they're gonna go down the field and score the style offense. So I think we're keeping that short game and just keep running. And like, even still, the Chargers defense, I think, is better at the pass than they are the run. And the Ravens, stylistically, just got to run all over them. So it's the worst possible matchup for the Chargers, because they blew that game against the Ravens, which is where otherwise they would be the one with the first seed.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It's a mad one, isn't it, for me? I think, you know, you look at the Chargers, you look at the Ravens, and you think about Phil Rivers, and he's made some pretty poor mistakes over the last few games. You know, a lot of interceptions and stuff, and
all in his first draft.
Yeah, he needs to limit those big time. He needs to perform at his absolute best to beat the Ravens, and I'm still not sure they can do it.
We usually do pick them as a group thing at the end, but let's go game by game here, and let's pick this one now then, because I'm gonna go with Ravens at home. I trust them, like what you said, running game, defense, and at the minute I like the Chargers and I love Phil Rivers, but the turnovers are still there, and I think if you give the Ravens an extra couple of possessions, they're going to hurt you. They'll keep the ball off you. Even if they don't score, they will run the clock down and down and down. It's Edwards and Jackson doing the bulk of the work. So I've gone Ravens at home.
Yeah, I've gone Ravens as well. I think they, you know, I've reseeded.
Yeah, we were told that, yeah.
And I think they're the second best side in that now, you know what I mean? And you look at it and you think, oh, where have I seen this before? Oh wait, Jim Harbaugh did it with the San Francisco 49ers, and Colin Kaepernick coming in, this type, no game film to really, not enough film to really be able to stop it from. He's timed it absolutely perfectly, and, you know, an absolute masterstroke by John Harbaugh.
Chargers or Ravens?
I'm going Chargers, because I'm just going to back up me pre-season pick, because why not? But I think you made a good point there, Chris. We said this when he drafted Lamar Jackson. If you just go all in the way Jim Harbaugh did with Colin Kaepernick, and you just go, we're just going to let him run. We're not worried about it if he gets hurt or injured or having a QB for the next 20 years. We're going to let this guy play to his talents, and we're going to see whether that can win. That's what the Ravens have actually chose to do, rather than doing what we've seen with RG3, where it was like, well, let's get him in the pocket, let's teach him how to be a pocket passer. And ultimately, every time we've seen that with one of these running quarterbacks, it's failed. So they've embraced it. So again, it's been a great move there by John Harbaugh to follow his brother.
Is this question for you, mate? Is this the new NFL? As in, what we've seen over the last sort of 10 years with the running back position is you get a 3-down back and you burn brightly you get a contract after your rookie contract. I think that the quarterback position, if you're not a pocket passer, becomes the new running back position, in that you get 5 years out of them and you're done. You move on to the next one and you don't get a big payday at the end of it.
Possibly, yeah. It's there. The contract thing is, I don't think you're going to get the running style quarterbacks coming and doing too well. Lamar Jackson's a freak. Like I said, I remember doing the draft show last year, and I said, like, think of every running quarterback you've seen, and he's faster than all of them. You know, he's an absolute ridiculous how quick he is. So I don't think you're going to get someone coming and run all. Like, for example, Josh Allen's done well running recently. He's going to have to learn to do more with his game. He can't win like that all the time, I don't think. It's quite weird that Buffalo got rid of one running quarterback who couldn't throw accurately, and that's what they've got anyway. They're happy again now.
I think Josh Allen, he just sees a white Cam Newton, which again we spoke about.
Which is fine, it works, and it can work.
If you've got someone like that size, then you can do it.
Yeah, it will work, but he'll need to learn. Like Cam got better. He isn't a great passer. He's a better passer than he was. Lamar Jackson doesn't have to get better at passing right now because you can't stop him because he beats linebackers to the edge. And if you can beat linebackers to the edge, there's nothing a defense can do to stop you really, other than just try and limit you to 5-yard gains and hope that you turn one over.
That's the worry with the Chargers, as you mentioned before, is that they don't score every possession.
They give the ball away too much.
To beat them, you need to be a Kansas Chiefs, LA Rams type of offense who are going to consistently put pressure on them and score points.
I agree. You know, make them have to pass at some point. Yeah, I agree. The other AFC wildcard game, it's an all-divisional clash, Geno. Then 6-seed Colts go to the 3rd-seed Texans. To be fair, there was only one game in this, so Colts finished 10-6, the Texans finished 11-5. The Colts took care of the business. They had to go and beat Tennessee, and they always beat Tennessee. They own Tennessee. I mean, it was a bit of a shame the quarterback situation wasn't what we'd like to have seen in a shootout game, but say la vie. Houston, without people knowing it, have got a pretty good home field advantage. It's a good crowd you get there. I still, the looking on Twitter and general consensus, look, a lot of people are backing the Colts. Are you backing the Colts as well?
Yeah, I'm backing the Colts in this one. I think the Colts went in the other week and beat the Texans, am I right in saying that? I think I am. I think the Texans, it's how we finished the season. And Texans had that run in mid-season where they won a lot of games and they had that great unbeaten streak. But then they've canted the limp back into the playoffs. They haven't been as good over the last couple of weeks, whereas the Colts have been smashing everyone.
Yep.
And again, I always go with this. In a close game, I always look at the better quarterback, and that's who I bank on. And that's what I'm doing with Andrew Luck.
They split so far, Chris. The Colts 1-1 and the Texans 1-1, so it's all to play for. Luck's on fire. I think we can agree that. Watson looks better. Again, he looks better with his legs at the minute. He has them throwing it. Having said that, he does have DeAndre Hopkins, who has 115 catches from 115. You know, every time the ball hits his hands, he's caught it pretty much, which is just he's probably the best receiver in the league at the moment on current form. Whereas Chargers Ravens might get you excited for it's going to be ground and pound a little bit. This one could be a bit of an air raid because there's going to be a lot of passing in this one.
Yeah, there will be, but I'm kind of with Geno on this one. I just see the way that the role that the Colts are on right now. I don't feel like the Texans can stop that. Okay. I think the fact that they've got Mack, the fact that they've got Luck, the fact that they've got T.Y. Hilton, the fact that they've got a good defense, probably a little bit underrated as well. I think they're going in there, and I think it's quite easy for them.
Really, I've gone Houston at home. I think Houston are going to win. I think you might see a lot of Andrew Luck, and not so much he isn't getting hit as much anymore because he's getting the ball out quick, but I think he might be under a bit more pressure than he has been. I think at such the likes of JJ Watt is very inclined to start to come to the party at home. They just a gut feeling, but I'm with you. I think the Colts, I've been really impressed by the Colts. Probably the most surprising team in the
AFC.
In the whole of the NFL so far. I think it's amazing how quickly they've turned that around. Sticking with the AFC then before we move on, Chris, obviously Pats 2 seeds, we haven't talked about that, and Chiefs 1 seed. It looked for a while like the Patriots might not get there, but by hook or by crook they've just done it again. It just fair play to them. They're not at the best, but being in a shit division helps. But
they still beat the Chiefs.
But that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, when it mattered in those games that they had to win, Brady and Belichick.
Who are they getting, Geno? If
they can get anyone but the Colts,
right?
So it depends on who wins what games, but
the only one they can't get is the Colts.
Are they getting the lowest seeds?
Yeah, no, the highest seed. So if Houston win, they're guaranteed to get Houston. If the Colts beat Houston, then they get either the Chargers or Ravens. And I would be, if I'm a Patriots fan, I am dead. I do not want the Ravens, but anyone else, they probably.
I don't know. You know, the thing with the Ravens, they're a great running team, and New England don't really have any linebackers. The one thing that worries me now is I don't think the Patriots can win a shootout
with
anyone.
But is there anyone there?
But the Ravens, I don't think you're getting in a shootout with the Ravens.
Yeah, I suppose. Is there anyone there?
Obviously, I'm just looking for anything to positive.
Is there anyone built for a shootout? Really? Maybe the Colts, perhaps, but there's no one there who you think.
The Chiefs are built.
The Chiefs later on, yeah.
The Chargers.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to stop their receivers.
No. So fair enough then. So Geno's not too confident there, and then Chiefs.
We're going to win it. Fuck it.
Yeah. Obviously the Chiefs, Chris, 12-4 first seed, deserve it. We talk about home field advantage. That's going to be some home field advantage. They're still cooking with gas. Pat Mahomes is on fire.
Williams has replaced Hunt almost seamlessly. That's the word.
Any worries about Pat Mahomes in the playoffs? Like, is it going to get too big for him? Nothing's been too big for him so far.
No. None whatsoever.
I hate the Showtime nickname. I think it's awful. but it kind of makes sense in this situation.
Yeah,
When the lights are bright, he's performing still.
Mate, I think he might be the first player who's going to throw a left-handed touchdown or a wrong-handed touchdown in the playoffs at some point, because it doesn't seem to matter whether he's playing, I'd imagine, on the backyard, I'd imagine with his, when he's dad, whether he's playing in the NFL, when he's playing in college. The lad just doesn't seem to be stifled by anything, mate.
It is amazing. Who's your pick from the AFC to get all the way there then, Chris?
Right now?
To the Super Bowl.
It's still just the Chiefs, but after that it's the Ravens.
Yeah, you mentioned before, then we'll do that now. You mentioned before, you've gone through in your head, and regardless of what the NFL seeds are, in your head you've seeded the AFC yourself.
Yeah, so I've gone Kansas City
the best
number
team.
1, best team just from the Ravens.
Okay.
Colts 3rd, Chargers 4th, Patriots 5th, Texans 6th.
Really? Okay. Would you go along? Obviously, you're not going
to... I'd have the Chiefs first, I'd have the Chargers second, then I'd have the Ravens 3rd, Patriots 4th, and then the 2 AFC South teams 5th and 6th.
I would say Chiefs, Ravens, Patriots, Chargers, Texans, Colts, I think. But again, I'm with you. It's amazing. I can't wait to watch the Ravens in the playoffs. It could be anything, but it's going to be so much different than what we've seen for a long time. That's actually quite exciting. It's taking us back to the Michael Vick Atlanta days, and they were always, if nothing else, they were hilarious to watch. Other than
watching a ball sail 50 yards away from anybody.
Yeah, but the running bit was fun. The running round bit was hilarious. Obviously, the fighting dogs bit wasn't great, and we didn't
didn't like that.
But pre that, it was absolutely fine. Let's talk NFC then. The first game we're going to see. Speaking of old school football, Seahawks, Cowboys might be old school ground and pound because no one likes to run it more than the Seahawks, and no one's game is built around the run pretty much more than Dallas. It's going to be one of those. It could be a really, not many possessions, not a lot of points. But again, it's going to be intriguing.
I have the Cowboys as the better defense, and I have the Seahawks as the better offense.
I go along with that, yeah.
And
who wins?
The better quarterback, Russell Wilson.
So you think Seattle go on the road to Dallas and win?
Yeah. But that was the one that I proper spent time thinking about. That was the one where I'm like, oh, that Cowboys D is really, really good. Then you got everything else, but I think Carson.
Did you see the stat on
and the fact that Tyler Lockett.
It was perfect pass. Russell Wilson has got a perfect passer rating when aiming for Tyler Lockett, 153.6 or whatever it is.
Doug Baldwin stepped up last 4 or 5 weeks as well.
Yep.
So I just shaded to the Seahawks away.
I'm going to Seahawks just because I think the Seahawks have that ability to score a lot of points very quickly. And not even a lot of points.
Get a turnover score off it,
maybe just go
broken
14
down play,
points,
50-yard pass.
14 points very quickly. And I just think the Cowboys, though they're actually built to stop the Seahawks with their great linebacking core, I'm just not convinced by them. I think they got into there's a lot of unimpressive wins for the Cowboys this season. Maybe that's what you should do, just beat the bad teams or the average teams. But I've never been sold on them all season, so
I've gone Dallas at home, mainly for the home field because I think it's a toss-up. But also the linebackers, I think, will have an impact. I think they can keep Russell Wilson from using his legs as much as he would like to. If plays do break down, I think the linebackers of Dallas can kind of not contain because he's almost unstoppable, but they can stop those big Russell Wilson runs that tend to break games open. The Cowboys' secondary's been pretty good as well, hasn't it, in fairness, and the pass rush is getting there. So, although the Seahawks line's been much better than it has been, let's see if it was in Seattle, I'd be picking Seattle. But I'm just going Dallas because it's at home. And then the other division, obviously, the other wildcard game, we mentioned before about the invincible Nick Foles. He's going, Chris, to Chicago. Can he do it again?
No, I think the Bears do it. I've been so impressed. Obviously, we've seen a lot of the Bears this season, and that defense is just so frigging good, man. And Trubisky can use his legs and gain yards. He's got a little bit of a passing game on the go now. He's got the running game as well.
Even Jordan Howard showed up.
Yeah, I just think the Bears are too good at the moment.
I'm going Bears. I don't like this Philly team. I think basically the Vikings shit the bed, and that's why they didn't get the playoffs, and that's why the Eagles limped in on the back of Foles.
Yeah.
But this Bears defense is great. I don't think anyone's going to Chicago and beating them. I think they're going stuff when they have to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think that's a clean sweep as well. I just don't see, Nick Foles, I mentioned before, which is David Clowney and level him the other day. I've seen Khalil Mack firsthand so much already this season. he sacked my quarterback with his arse. He is absolutely frightening, and I think come playoff time, I'll be honest, I'm still not sold on Trubisky, and I keep saying it. I don't think he'll have to score that many points in this game. I think I don't think the Eagles' offense is anywhere near what it needs to be, and I think Bears in a relatively comfortable win as well. Obviously, the other two teams then, Chris, in this division, arguably the best two teams in the league, some would say, probably two of the best three, is Rams at the 2 seed and the Saints got that home field advantage. Let's talk Rams first. And they've kind of stuttered.
Fucking CJ Anderson, man.
They've stuttered a little bit.
What a guy!
And then they've just found him. I mean, I imagine he won't get much of the ball with Todd Gurley being there, but they did what they had to do. Again, I mentioned before, they've kind of stuttered and stopped, but what they've got stars. And if ever stars come out to play in the playoffs, it's time to do it. Someone's going to have to go there, like I mentioned before, first up. Can anyone there, do you think anyone's going to go into LA and win?
Anyone with a great run game can.
So
I think that's the way that you beat the Rams, isn't it? I think you've got to run and you've got to stop that pass rush from teeing off all game. I think that's the only way that you can beat the Rams.
So you're looking for, basically, if you're a Rams fan, you're looking for the Bears to win, and then you get either... You're looking for the Eagles to win, rather, aren't you? And then sending them up to sacrificial lambs in the Saints, and you're taking either Dallas or Seattle. I think that's the way. I think they are so good, and the fact that they're back to scoring points again's massive, because there was a couple of games there where they didn't score enough points, but they'll have the confidence. They can beat any team on a day, and that's the thing. But they will fear someone with a run game. That's the only team they'll fear. So yeah, so they're probably wishing that they. So do you think they'd rather have the Bears than the Cowboys or Seattle? Because the Bears did just hand them a loss. Yeah, I'm not sure they'd like any of those matchups, to be honest. I think they want the Eagles, mate.
Yeah,
they can't tough.
The Eagles.
Yeah,
so
tough.
Again, I think the Rams are looking at now, and stylistically, no one matches up with them. The best team that matches up with them is actually probably the Saints. I think that
get into a shootout.
Yeah, I think the problem is they're looking at going, if a team runs, I've mentioned this about what I think about Donald, which is that because he jumps the line, it leaves so much space for people to run into. And if you're willing to trust that and use a lot of half-back throws, it could be trouble for the Rams. I think they would quite like the Bears at home. Probably if at home. Yeah, I don't think they would they want no part of Dallas. They want nothing. They want Dallas at all. I think they'd be okay with the Seahawks, but I think if it plays out like we think, it's going to be the Bears anyway. I think they'd fancy themselves at home against the Bears. And also, the thing that really what happens in Chicago is it's hard to throw the ball in that weather. It's hard to actually air the ball out, and we've seen that with Goff's performance. Yeah. But in SoCal, I mean, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. And then the Saints at home secured that amazing advantage. It's such a good advantage, Chris. Can anyone go into New Orleans and beat them? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think they're and I've thought it for a long time. I think they're the best football team in this league at the moment. I think they're the most well-rounded. I think they can beat you in different ways, and I just don't see anyone stopping them. So you're predicting Saints Chiefs Super Bowl and the Saints to win. Do you know? Yeah, I'm going Saints. I mean, on our prediction show, I was 5 minutes away from saying the Saints go to Super Bowl. For some reason, chose the Vikings. I think it was just Chris looking at me, looking all happy with the hope on his face. But yeah, since about 10 minutes after that show, I've been thinking the Saints are going to win it. And I'm sticking with the Saints versus Chargers. I'm going to go Saints as well. Clean sweep. Ravens. Saints Ravens. Is that why you're wearing purple? I'm wearing purple because I had another t-shirt on. I put my dinner on it. If truth be told, so I had to put a Red Men TV special. That's why I'm wearing this. Question then: who's going to be? Sorry, Chris. Before can I just go back to your rankings? Okay. If you had to re-rank the NFC, you think the Saints are number 1. Yeah. Would you stick with Rams at 2? Yeah. Bears, Seahawks, Cowboys, Eagles. So you've pretty much. It's very similar. Yeah. You've just switched Seahawks and Cowboys around. Yeah. I would actually put the Bears second. You think they're better than the Rams? Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you know what? It depends where the weather is, where it was played. If it was somewhere hot, I'd fancy the Rams. If it was somewhere cold, I'd fancy the Bears. I'll go Saints, Bears, Rams. I think Cowboys,
Cowboys, Seahawks, Eagles. I think that's right.
So none of us believe in the Eagles.
We're all doubting Nick Foles.
Eagles,
yeah,
Super Bowl, lads.
And roll it back a year, and I was the one sitting there going, Nick Foles can do this, it's no problem. I've seen him do it, and now I don't believe in him. I've literally seen him do it.
We've had this conversation last time, and we all sort of, listen, it'd be amazing if he can do it. Go on, you had one more question you were going to round off with.
I've forgotten what it was.
It's absolutely fine, don't worry about it. So yeah, that's our playoff preview.
Oh yeah, that was the question.
Go on.
Who's going to be the guy that comes alive in the playoffs?
I was thinking Tyler Lockett, but then I've kind of just said they're going to
he's
lose.
get knocked out.
So Amari Cooper. I
Amari
think
Cooper,
Amari
okay,
Cooper is going to
nice.
be. I think we're going to see a bit of him.
Melvin Gordon. I think for them to go through, I think they really need to run Melvin
Geno
Gordon.
picking Chargers players, shock horror.
Or Gus Edwards.
Okay, yeah. Mine is we're going to see more Ingram than Kamara.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of that, especially if they have to play the Rams. I think they wouldn't mind going shootout style against the Bears. I think they'd be quite happy with that, but I think they want to keep the Rams off the field. Ground, and he had that break, didn't he? So he should be a bit fresher. It makes sense. Gus Edwards, by the way.
Yeah, player.
Yeah, and what a weird thing that is that he just turned up.
I don't know where he come from.
No idea. He's just there.
There's a lot of Alex Collins. You know, he did Irish dancing, and then
it's Gus Edwards.
And then it's Gus Edwards.
So yeah, that was our playoff preview. Let us know
Before we go, anyone win a championship? You win a championship? Fantasy?
In any division, did you play any fancy and won any?
Yeah, I did.
Well done.
You win a championship?
I beat you
in the semis.
And won it.
I beat Russ.
Yeah.
And I won a championship.
We're all winners.
Go us. Go us. Team Cover 2 TV.
Our predictions were terrible because if it was up to me right now, Jacksonville and Atlanta were going to the Super Bowl. Look how that turned out. But we can play fantasy footy.
Oh.
Except our own league, in which case none of us even...
Anyone know the league that Jenna was in?
Oh, wasn't even my team. It was just one of the leagues where you join an NFL one.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at it.
I'll
I'll show you on my phone in a minute.
It's the girly neck by his nans. No one knows.
I'll follow the lad, I'll follow the
in the alleyway behind the offie.
What's her name? It doesn't matter.
50-50 was it? Or 2020, what was it called?
It doesn't matter. I mean, you don't even know who she is anyway. You never even met her. It's fine. You can't even Facebook store that. That was our playoff. It started in one way and it ended in a very similar way. And there was a bit of football in the middle. Chris, thanks very much, Gino. Thanks very much. We'll be back next week reviewing the wildcard games and also previewing my favourite time of the year divisional games. I love it. Until then, that's been Cover 2 TV. Goodbye.